Hey guys, that Wolf from Hyrule, and it's been a long time since I've done a video. Yeah, I realized that, and a lot of things have popped up lately. As you can see, still no monitor. Whatever, but I do have some good news. Oops, I've been a security guard for over 6 months now, and my phone won't stand up. That's as good as it's going to get. So I've been a security guard for 6 months now, and the site's due to get a raise, so yay, more money! A couple of things I have, oh, yeah. My 1911 has changed quite a bit. It's still the same everything else, except for, got the black rubberized grips from Ruger, which they have the Ruger logo in here. I don't know how well you can see that. My lighting isn't great. I got just my window open. And I got these finger grooves from, I forgot which company it is. Well, basically they make a lot of accessories for 1911s, including grip panels and groove grips, which I believe this handgun, for me at least, needed greatly, because that's way stronger of a hold than it was before. So I get to hold it a lot better, I get a firmer grip, and it ain't slipping around, especially when my fingers get sweaty, because that's how it goes sometimes. And also, I didn't really want to ruin the Coca-Cola grips it came with, which are in their package with some extra bushings and grip screws, just in case I strip one or whatever. But this gun is ran very nicely. I've had it since my birthday last year, so about a year and a half, or a quarter, I guess, since it was purchased in June, and here it is October, the next year, I mean. And this sucker has gone to, well over 2,000 rounds, and I've had literally as many baubles as I have on one hand. Because one time I had a fail to extract, another time I had a fail to feed one time, and that was with some cheap-ass ammo. So I blame the ammo, not the gun. And another time it actually failed to fire. Like, I actually had a hang fire. Like, I went there and it went click. And I was like, okay. So I just held it there for about 10-15 seconds, and then I determined it was safe to pull it, so I ejected the round, and it had a light primer strike. Probably due to the boxer primed ammo. I'm not going to bash tool ammo. I'm not going to bash Tula, but it was a Tula round, and I have not since bought that round. What I normally run in this currently is... this is Winchester 230 grain hardball, and I've been buying this ammo for quite a while off of ammoforsale.com. I'm not gonna ask them for sponsorship, but I've been purchasing with them quite a lot. And a couple of days ago, they called me. They actually phoned me and asked me how my recent purchases were, and I've bought from them 4 times. I bought 500 rounds of 45. I've bought 1,000 rounds of 5.56, and I just recently bought some 22 ammo. Have I only bought from them? Okay, well, 3 times. I've purchased from them 3 times, but their service is outstanding, and they just wanted to know how my orders were and how they got to me, and I told them, excellent. I love your customer service and I love your speed. I mean, you could buy from a store, but I mean, you're still getting the same quantity, but you're paying a little more. But also, from buying online, you have to wait a little bit. But I don't mind that. Obviously, it's only like maybe 3 days tops. I mean, it ships quick, and it gets to you quick. One thing I have to complain is not the service itself, not ammoforsale.com itself, but FedEx. They just plop it on the front door. They don't even knock or anything. They just plop it on the door, and then you find, oh, there it is. Oh, shit, here's this heavy-ass package. So if somebody else is receiving the order from me, and they're not able to lift it, they don't give a shit. Oh well. No biggies, that's really not me. That's more of a FedEx thing. So maybe I'll pay the extra dollar or whatever for UPS, or I think it's US, or yeah, UPS. So I think they're a little bit more careful when ordering stuff. They at least come to your door. They actually, you know, hey, here's the box. Here, we're handing this to you. Are you able to get this? So yeah. So anyways, so 2,000 rounds later, still freaking amazing. And I keep this sucker very clean. The feed ramp is still very nice, and these are all stock parts aside from the grip and the grip panel and the finger grips here in the front. That's it. I've been running this thing basically stock, and I've had no hang-ups. So I've personally put over 2,000 rounds through this 1911. And recently I picked up some hollow points. These are Critical Defense. I forgot who makes these, but yeah, I currently run these in my magazines. Well, at least in a magazine. And I only have one magazine of these. I have 7 rounds of this. This is usually what, if I'm gonna be carrying, this is the magazine that goes into the gun. Speaking of magazines, this is a brand new magazine. And the original that it came with is here. It's loaded up with some 45 hardball. It's sticky. This magazine is sticky. I noticed that when I went to get this new magazine. Check this out. Here's the difference in magazines. The new one I bought comes out perfectly fine. This is the one it came with, and it stops there because I think the feed lips are not the feed lips, but actually probably yeah. Basically, there's more spread on the top here. I mean, it's not a perfect magazine, but I mean, you could tell that one part. I think this side here is spread a little bit more than it should be, and it's catching, and it's not able to be free falling. Because all my other magazines come out perfectly fine. This one I just have to tug a little bit, but other than that, it comes out fine. No complaints there. Good magazines. And I've had one of these. I think this is the factory one it came with, because I bought another one, and it's been feeding fine. And it's usually, well, when I first got this, I got 2 magazines, and then I purchased a second 8-rounder, and these 3 magazines are what I'd usually run out of it, like 20 some odd rounds. Let's see, 23 rounds I think. Yeah. So I'd run 23 rounds on it normally, carrying. These in the gun, and these are backups, because, you know, 8 rounds. And recently I accidentally dropped one of the magazines on the base plate while I was doing a training exercise with myself. I dropped it on the ground and it broke, and so I got to get a new one. So no biggie. They say not supposed to drop your magazines, but because these base plates could break. Yeah, that basically just came right off and didn't do anything anymore. So this is, yeah, these are the 2 factory mags it came with, and I purchased one of these, and through an online retailer, I've got 2 of these as well. I was like, oh yeah, that's right, they have these in Wanted, you know, because Angelina Jolie's character, she has a custom 1911 stainless like this with like ivory handles, and there's an extended 10-round magazine on it. As I can tell, it has a little bit of extra play here, but I basically have all matching, all factory Ruger magazines running in this now. I can carry 50 rounds on my person, although, you know, why would I want to? That's mostly just range play, because, you know, I got these 10-round mags for the range, so I can like engage like 5 targets at once. I go pop up, pop up, pop up, pop up, pop up. So those are just there for fun. I'm not going to carry these in my gun. More than likely, I'm going to start with the 7 and then have to reload to the 8s. But I'm still figuring out how I'm going to run this if I am carrying. Oh, and I do have my CPL on the way. So that's another deal that I got going on as well. Let me load these back in here. As well as I am now an owner of a high-powered rifle. This is another Ruger that I purchased earlier this year. This is a Mini 14. and it bears great resemblance to the M1 Garand and M1A, but it's the size of the M1 Carbine, which I thought that was pretty nice. And it has all the same controls and features of the Garand and the M14. It's just in a smaller, handier package. And it's nice. It's got a nice 18-inch barrel. It's basically the size of a, I guess if you want to compare it to a Springfield M1A Scout Squad with the 18-inch barrel and everything. And I've upgraded this over the years. Obviously, this is not a stock sling. This is a leather repro of a 1907. It's slightly shorter, but I have it basically set up to mimic the 1907 sling, because I had to look up a few tutorials on how to put this together. And this is as good as I can set it up. That is basically like the military sling. Otherwise, I wanted it to be very military, so I got one of these ones with the brass keepers and teeth and frogs and all that. Technicalities aside and everything, it's a nice sling. It holds up very well. I can't ask for a better sling. I mean, it wouldn't feel right to put a web slinger or whatever on here. So I've put roughly over 1,000 rounds through this, and it has worked fine for me as long as I've had it. Oh, and I got several upgrades for this. I got the rear sight. This is a Tech Sights R200 or whatever. Basically, it's for the series 583 and ups model M1 or Mini 14s, and it is definitely way better than the stock sight. The sight picture is nice, and I have no problem sighting this guy in. And it definitely it's a lot more accurate, because the other sight, they were held in place by set screws, and this actually has some positive clicks. It's actually pretty hard to spin this to adjust the sights and move it in windage, and elevation is even more of a pain, but the elevation's right on. I just have to play with the windage for a while, but I think the windage is perfect, because when I was shooting it, I didn't realize when you get your sight picture that the bottom of the front post is supposed to coincide with the bottom of the post ring, and you're supposed to put your sight post in the center of your rifle. So a lot of misses were probably my fault for not knowing that. I just figured, oh, let's just you know, here is my thought process there. Just encompass the whole front sight with the circle. And then the front post would be wherever the hell. So I was shooting like high or low, and it was always my fault, and I didn't know until recently. So, oh well. So I'm gonna do some shooting videos in the future with this, and I'll give you my on-range thoughts. But I've been loving this rifle so far. They come with 2 5-round magazines when you buy it. Well, I bought mine from Walmart. Just not to say that you know that's a bad idea to buy it from Walmart. It was the best deal I could have found, at least for cash wise, because there was a few other stores that were selling older models, and then there was other stores selling these for higher. I was like, $7.49, that's the same price I paid for my handgun. I'm not going to pass that up. So they come with these 2 5-round mags. I purchased immediately 2 10-rounders and a couple of 20-rounders. And then later on, I purchased a couple of 30-rounders, just because, so I can say I've had 2 of every magazine, which is my usual deal. I like to have 2 of the available magazine. The 5-round ones fit flush just like this. They kind of remind me of a Garand magazine, how they just kind of disappear into the gun. And these are, I like to call these the sniper mags. They don't go in all the way unless the bolt's back. For whatever weird-ass reason, I don't know why, but that's how they fit in there. They're nice. I like them. They're a nice little way to do some sitting down shooting. And then there's their standard 20-round capacity. Easily my favorite magazine. And you notice how I'm putting these in, or notice how I'm putting these in here, doing like the AK rock and lock. But that's how they go in, and that's just like the M14 as well. But these are my favorite magazines. They're not too cumbersome. They're not too awkward. They look fine coming right out of the gun, especially with this old-timey looking stock. But sometimes they're a little pain in the ass to get out. Not to say that that's a negative. I mean, I was prepared to do some fumbling, and there's no real easy way to take these out other than just keep pressure on them on the magazine release as you're taking it out the whole time. Because there's no way to just do this and then rip it out. I mean, you can just kind of yank it, but I don't want to ruin my magazines. But here's just to show you what this looks like in here. Like, it's a little long coming out. It's like, I don't know. Not my preferred magazine, but it is nice to you know, just have it and then just, you know, slam away rounds when you want, or if you want to do the belt loop sort of, you know, bump fire deal, which I'm going to talk about that in a sec. The only other thing that's on this is I want to get a barrel strut, probably like a good 4-inch or so. 4 inches ought to do it, right? I think, yeah, to give it that M1A look. Or I was thinking about getting a whole new gas block entirely and then having a barrel strut already on the gas block that would actually have gas. Well, it would still come down out here, but you just, I don't know what to do yet. But I did install this muzzle brake or flash hider. It's actually both. Muzzle brake, flash hider. I don't have it installed completely, and by that I mean it wiggles a little bit. But I want it to be more secure. I want it completely flush up against the sight because there's a tiny gap that just bugs the shit out of me. There's a tiny gap in there. I was like, I want to get that fixed. So I'm going to eventually have that taken back to the person who helped me install that. I'm tapping. I'm going to have the bottom of the muzzle brake tapped here with a set screw, and I'm going to shove this all the way down against the sight. We're going to replace the original sight pin. Shove it all the way down against there, and then just have it secured so there's no more wiggle, because when I had this just sitting on there, it was fine. But then when we installed it, I didn't realize there'd be like a little gap between the sight and the muzzle and the end of the muzzle brake where it's supposed to contact. I guess they made these holes just slightly too far back. But, I mean, it was like a $10 friggin' muzzle brake. What am I going to say? So, I believe NC Star makes these. I've seen them offered by other companies under different names. But this one I just found for like 10 bucks. While I have the bolt back, when I first purchased this, I thought this is the ugliest fucking handguard cover I think I've ever seen. Because, I mean, I like how the bolt is like this. I like this little bump because, check this out. So, yeah, I guess only one way to demonstrate this. So if my hand was in the way, or if I had my hand high up here on the handguard while I was shooting, a lot of people with the M1s and the M1As, the Grands and the Springfield M1As, might get some bolt pinch in there, like the bolt's moving back and forth and it's a flat rod. So what Ruger did is they put this little bump here along the operating rod. Then there's no way that I'll get my finger pinched in there unless it's like really deep in there. But I'm just really trying. It just moves my hand out of the way naturally. There's no way for me to pinch my hand in there. So Ruger was all, when they redesigned the Mini 14, they put this ugly ass, like they made this ugly ass, basically an op rod cover for their handguard. I mean, why would I ever need this? This looks so ugly, just hanging off the side of the gun. What is that, to protect your hand from the frickin' bolt? I mean, yeah, that comes back and forth with a lot of force, but I think it's unnecessary. And it looks so ugly just hanging off the side of the gun. So my first thing was, I thought, there's got to be a better solution for that. So, I forgot exactly where it came from, that this is a black American walnut stock. It comes 90 quote-unquote 90% unfinished. So I had to get on a belt sander and turn this down myself. And unfortunately I took off too much material because look how much difference it is. I mean, it looks nice, don't get me wrong, it's just the wrong material, and I took off a little bit too much in a certain spot, like, you know, right here. I took off way too much material, and I kind of screwed up, but hey, I did a good job. I mean, I did it myself. I mean, I finished this myself. I sanded it myself. I smoothed it out myself. I did most of the work myself, and I think I'm a little bit proud of it. And then recently, I found a website dedicated to Ruger parts, especially aftermarket parts, and I purchased this. This is a birch handguard to match the birch stock on here. It matches perfectly, and it's a really nice fit, and the finish is damn near close to what the original is. I mean, I could barely tell. And it does exactly what I need to. It looks perfect. Oh my gosh, I only paid like $70 as opposed to like 80 for this, and I still had to buy the oil and go to my friend's house to have him help me. But, I mean, good lord. This looks way better, and I didn't have to do any work on this. This is almost the same finish, almost the same feeling as the stock. I mean, I'm sure it's probably, the stock is worn in a few places, because I've been, you know, firing it a lot. You know, 1,000 rounds ain't nothing to sneeze at. Almost. But, yeah. Come on. So, I did purchase this. And also, unfortunately, when they sent me this handguard, it was half the order short. So, I recently got this in the mail, too. This is like a chote or something like that. It's a better composite handguard than the stock one, I believe. And let's see how this goes on here. It might be a little, might need to sand this down the front a little bit, because it does not seem to want to go on. Yeah, might have to sand the front down, because that looks like a lot of material there. And the other one just like shoves right in. Maybe I'll just kind of, come on. Yeah. It needs a little bit of material taken off, and that's no problem. So I could just get some sandpaper and sand that shit down. No worries. But yeah, I got this, and then I was gonna end up painting it like roughly the color of wood and simulate like an M14 style upper handguard. But for now, I think I'll keep the birch one on there until I finish this one. But yeah, so. Neat little handguard. It actually feels a lot thicker than the OEM one that came with. So that's my Mini 14. So I own 2 Rugers now. I almost bought a third. Yeah, the handguard material feels a lot different. Huh. Yeah, this handguard is slightly longer. I can just take off this front portion here. I mean, I could just sand that down, that's no problem. Just slightly too long. Yeah, other than that, I like this new handguard. Oh, I think I know what it is. It's the material. There's too much material right here. So yeah, I could just sand that down a little bit. No worries. So, what this video really is about, I know this is kind of getting long here, is this guy. This is the Heritage Manufacturing 22 Colt Clone Revolver. Here, let me get my magazines back in my pouch here. Yeah, this one goes in here. Oh, other way, I don't know why I have them going that way. And this goes here. Yeah. Oh yeah, I got a little pouch for my magazines. This holds 2 double stacks or 4 double stacks or 2 double stacks or 4 single stacks. And you know, my 1911 magazines are single stack. So I usually, if I do end up carrying it, I'll be like this. I'll carry it like this. And I have a couple of different holsters for it. So this is the first holster I bought. It has an extra magazine compartment. And it's got this nice little adjustable Velcro snap, which is cool. But mostly, when I do carry my 1911 on me, I'll be carrying this. This is a Sherpa holster. I've got this because it's got the button release. So, where's my gun? So when it's in here, it's nice and secure, and it's a really nice fit and finish. So when I grab it, I usually pull out at a slight angle, because otherwise it's like tilted up like this, and that's kind of weird. So I have it where I could basically grab it straight and then have to pull it back slightly and then just be able to raise it just a little bit. But what I got this is because of this button here. Sometimes while I was trying to draw with the other holster, it would snag and then like not clear the holster, and I can see that being a oh shit I shot myself situation. Because if you think about it, here's how I carry my 1911 with condition 2. Condition 1 is round in the chamber, hot, ready to go. So basically, there was a guy on YouTube, I won't mention or whatever, but basically he had a 1911 and a holster just like this. For some reason, when he was going to draw it, he took the safety off, and then he had the button depressed, and then went straight to the trigger and unloaded around into his thigh. That really sucks, because that's also why I got this, because that was happening where it would snag, and then I'd be ready to fire, but then the safety was on, thankfully, and I almost did the same thing with this holster. So this has no problems, and I like the button release, but then I got to remember, keep the safety on until it clears, draw it, and then pop the safety off afterwards. So I got a couple of different holsters, and if I get a Beretta, that's what'll go in here, because that sucker's thick enough for anything. So, anyways, back to the main reason of the video. So this is my new Colt clone. So I got this because I've been itching to get a new revolver, and to be an armed security guard. That's why I mentioned that I've been a guard for 6 months. I'm thinking about getting my armed license and then going in to be qualified. And they use revolvers. So I figure get a revolver for myself so I can practice. And so you can come along on me and we'll see what's in this. Oh my gosh. As if I don't have a million of these around. Youth Handgun Safety Act notice. Yeah, I'm an adult, thank you. What else is in here? Rough Rider single action revolvers. Extra cylinder coupon. Oh my god. Unit Rough Rider can fire 22 LR and 22 Magnum. We have extra cylinders for $29.95. Complete this coupon, return it with a credit card or send her money order. Oh my god. Ha. Stop message from Heritage. Warranty is blah blah blah. Okay. Do not return this. Okay, so basically, interesting. Okay, so a couple of coupons and junk. Extra cylinder coupon for like $30. I'm not gonna complain. I could actually buy a second cylinder for the 22 long rifle, but I'd just get a Magnum one sooner than that. So this seems to be the. Okay, so this is the parts list and also the manual. Exploded classic 4-click revolver action. That's why I bought this, because any revolver should click 4 times, and I'll demonstrate that when I do this. Unloading, you can do the hammer in the second position, and then you do the ejector rod. Yeah, I know how to fire, thank you. No, please sure not to dry fire. But there's a safety on there, which also includes a hammer block, which is nice, so that I could actually carry all 6 in here. That is handsome. That is really nice. Oh my goodness. And this is in the 4 3/4 inch. Oh my goodness. It's like Christmas came early for me. Yes. There's a little bit of glue residue. I'm going to have to cut that off. No problem. Let's test that out. Let's see if it clicks 4 times. Oh, right now it's on fire. Oh my goodness. The clicks are very positive. And of course, here's the hammer block. I could do that all day. It's got a nice trigger. And I'm probably not going to dual hand this, because a lot of people, they hold these like these. And then they operate the hammer with their left. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to treat this like it's a friggin'... I'm going to treat this like it's a real revolver. So, I guess I'm going to have to get used to handling this, because it's definitely different handling characteristics than my 1911. But it sounds, looks, and feels like everything I wanted it. I'm not going to get too nerdy over it, but goodness. And then you can't spin the cylinder, obviously, while the loading isn't on. Oh my goodness. That is so cool. I'm definitely going to have to oil it then. Oh my goodness. I just want to cut this up right now. Yep. And as I've been watching Hickok 45, every time when you cock a hammer, you always gently lower it, or if you have it on half cock and you're doing this, always go all the way down and then back down. So from watching his videos, I think what I'll do is when I load, I'll put one in, skip, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, so that way I'll always end up on an empty cylinder. So I'm gonna practice with this revolver as if it's a 45. And oh, there's a serial number. That's not too intrusive. There's all the markings and everything. 22. Keep empty chamber under hammer. like I just got done saying. There's a marking here. That's probably Heritage's. Yeah. And then there's nothing on this side of the barrel. Nothing. This grips look and feel nice. They're nice classic wood. I mean, they're like Coca-Cola. I thought they were going to be more red like in the pictures, but that's really nice. The safety is a little awkward to look at, but I'm not really going to use it very much if I treat this like a real revolver. So let's take this down. So you're supposed to push this. This comes out, and then you take out the loading gate, and then there it goes. That's everything. That's the workings. Oh my goodness. Here, let's put the hammer block so I can dry fire a little bit. Sounds weird without the cylinder in it, but I guess that's the point, right? Alright, let me put the cylinder back in here. Alright. And then you push this button back, put the base pin back in. Oh my goodness, this is so much cool. This is so cool. Oh my god. So I guess I'm gonna have to cut some off. That's okay. But yeah, let's get all this stuff off the trigger guard here. Sorry so much for the long video. I finally took the plunge and I bought a single action revolver. And this gun has been staring at me in Fred Meyer's for friggin' years. Or maybe not years, but months. And I was just like, you know, I'm just gonna buy it. Screw it, I can afford it. I'm just gonna buy it. Just gonna take the plunge. And be happy with myself. So I no regrets at all buying this. The front tube here is a little loose, but that's probably no problem. I'm sure all the ejector rods are like that, and I could probably always tighten this screw here. Other than that, I think this definitely needs a little bit of oil. Here, let's try to eject a shell out of here. So this is an old piece of 22 brass I have. I don't know if it'll go back in the chamber or not. Oh, it will. Okay. There it goes. Nice. But if I'm going to load it and then keep it on me, I'm probably going to have the safety on just for good measure. But when I'm shooting it, I'll keep it off. Yeah. So, one thing you probably don't know about me is that I like Western movies. I love Westerns. Oh my goodness. I watched so many with my grandpa when I was a kid. Like, you wouldn't believe how many. I've probably seen a good number of the more common Westerns. Like, the first one I remember really watching was Silverado. And that was one of my favorites. That's what really got me into it. And then I watched Tombstone. Then I watched Wyatt Earp. A lot of them. Let's see, what was another one? Oh, did I mention the Long Riders already? Wyatt Earp, Quick and the Dead, you know, that's more of a modern Western because it's very spaghetti style, because it's really cheesy. I've watched so many, like a lot of the Clint Eastwoods. I've seen a lot of those so many times. Here, I'm gonna actually load some rounds into here. Not obviously shooting because that's what the safety is on. Alright. And I have another can for I have another can for my 22, and I purchased a whole case of these. I figured why not just go with lead rounds. You know, just to be, because I want to see what they look like in there. That's 3. Four. Where's that round that I just dropped? That's a brass case. Come on. Where'd you go? Oh, there you are. No, that's probably irresponsible of me. So anyways, if I did this right, regardless of it being on the chamber right now, it should be empty. So that way when I pull it back, yep, there's an empty one. But thank goodness for the hammer block. Anyways, let's try to see. There's the empty chamber that I just spun past. Yeah. Oh wait, no, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to see what they looked like in here. This is brand new. I haven't been able to fire this yet, and yeah. I must say, can't really see the tips of the bullet in here, but it's no problem. Alright. Safety still on, lowered the hammer nicely. Yeah, let's get these rounds out of here. Oh goodness, I'm going on like 40 minutes, so I better wrap this up, huh? Before I bore you all to death. empty. Here's this, just for one more measure. This is what a real gun back in the day when all they used was this sounded like. And you did not want to hear this against you. Of course, it probably sounds a little better on the real thing because these, I've been told the barrel is steel, but everything else is some sort of metal. But I mean, this is a really nice weighted gun. In fact, you know what? This is slightly heavier than my 1911. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this is slightly heavier. And you know what? It's cool. I can actually spin this if I knew how to do that. And there's no round in the chamber in my 1911. So sometimes when I'm done firing, I like to do this. Just spin it backwards once. I want to know if I can spin this. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, kind of. I mean, the trigger guard is squared here. A lot of them were rounded, but I think with the 22 frame, they only have them rounded like that. Just gotta hear this one more time. Oh, Jesus. I'm gonna take good care of this gun. Oh, goodness. Cylinder doesn't want to stay put. Maybe it'll get better as I use it. Yeah. Oh. It's actually pretty fun to do. Oh, goodness. And I would have shot myself in the belly, but hey, there's no rounds in here. I'm having fun. Lovely gun. Oh, my goodness. This is the second handgun I've owned. And I think this will stay with me for quite a long time, and it fits me just like a glove. Oh, my goodness. I couldn't have asked for a better gun. I mean, it fits me nicely. A lot of people will say, yeah, you're supposed to hold it like high up like this. And I'm like, yeah, that's the point, right? Because you don't want your hammer coming back all the way right, like that. And plus, since I got sort of smallish hands, I mean, that's why I got the 1911. It's a small frame handgun. And a lot of people, they hold it like this. And I'm like, no, you don't. You don't hold it with like this. Here, you're supposed to have your... This is like a high grip firearm. It's supposed to be like, yeah, it's supposed to be like that. Like whoever... Yeah, obviously somebody doesn't know how to use their guns right. So... Whatever. I've been wanting a single action revolver, hell, even if it's only 22, for a long time. And maybe I'll work my way up to either 357, 45, or maybe 44 Magnum or something. But for now, God, that does not feel right. This feels right. This feels right. So one of these days I'll go to the range, and I'll have to shoot some out of this, and we'll see. Alright, this has been That Wolf from Hyrule, and I'll see you guys next time on the range.